Yaffee program on WVNN.
Well, we're going to talk about the death penalty. That's going to be the first thing we talk about. And we have some good news on that in Alabama, but I'm looking at this Luigi Mangione case, and I'm thinking they could just learn something from Alabama here. So we'll discuss that. We actually have a lot to get to today on the Yaffee program. It's Friday. I know it started off kind of morbid there, but it's a good day because it's Friday. Later up on the show as well, we'll have the Alabama bullet points. The bottom of the hour, we'll speak with Brad Presnall, who is a political consultant. We do have more to get to on Iran, more to get to on the border. Doug Jones, once again, coming out against data centers. And apparently, if you just keep up with the propaganda press, people are just jumping off aircraft carriers that we have. It's so terrible. They're just jumping into the ocean. That whole thing, I mean, Dale was right in his show. I smell a rat when it comes to that story. It's obvious what's going on there. I'll end the show with the Yaffee program rewind. We always take your text messages on the Yaffee text line, 866-494-9866, 866-494-WVNN. And Bugsy is here producing. She's going to do What's Trending later on. Bugsy, how are you today?
Doing awful, Yaffee. I'm having a bad day.
Because of the whole AI debate that you had with Dale? Is that why?
No.
No? I don't know. What did is it bad that you say I'm having a bad day and I'm like, what did Dale do?
Pretty much it, though. No, it's just because everybody thinks I'm a man, I guess.
No, everyone does not think you're a man.
Ernie Yarbrough does, and that's what matters to me.
It's a honest mistake over the phone. Stop. I can't. That was yesterday. You're still harping on that.
I sat up all night thinking about it.
I definitely don't believe you. You sat up all night playing with your horse collection. That's what
I told you about my horse collection in private.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. Because you're always private about your weird... I'm sorry, I forgot. This one was private. You're never public about your collection. Okay, anyway, I saw this, and it really got me thinking, and I know Dale mentioned it at the end of his show, but I'll read this here. It says, Alabama man asked to be executed after pleading guilty to a girl's murder. So it happened yesterday where Alabama executed Jeremy Williams for the 2021 rape and murder of the young Georgia girl. He was pronounced dead at 6:16 p.m. following the injection. Now, in his final words, he said, I want to thank God for forgiving me for my sins so I can meet him in peace. A member of Williams' family, who was seated near the media, cried quietly throughout the execution. Now, Williams, who pled guilty to killing Kamari Holland, had declined to appeal and requested that his death sentence be carried out. In letters to the Alabama Attorney General's office, Williams sought an immediate execution date so his family may have some time of closure and satisfaction, which they deserve. Now, this story is horrific when you look at the details. And Governor Kay Ivey is exactly right, because what she said in response here, she said the crime was evil. The unspeakable nature of this crime is exactly why we have the death penalty statute in the state of Alabama, she said. So what happened in the crime here? I almost hate to explain it. But Williams, 42, raped and strangled Holland after offering her mother $2,500 for the child to perform a sex act, prosecutor said. He added he filmed the attack. The district attorney said, to see on video what he did to this baby, what a grown man could do to a child, it's shocking, it's horrible, it's disgusting, it's just a level of evil. Now, the main reason I bring this up, other than I agree with everything they're saying there, that this is why we have a death penalty. When people have that debate, I'm like, if we can't do it for a crime like this, then we should just get rid of it. But the interesting thing that caught my attention, and I'm sure it caught everyone else's attention, this happened in 2021. It was only 5 years ago. When was the last time you heard someone in the United States get the death penalty and it be carried out in less than 5 years. And the sad thing is it seems like the only reason this happened so quickly is the guy just said, I'm not going to appeal. I understand we don't want to take the issue of the death penalty execution lightly. We want to make sure they are actually guilty. But I'm sorry, this is the way it should be done much more often. If we're having to wait 20 and 30 years for the death penalty, there is an argument to be made that we should just get rid of it. What's the point? That if we're going to do it, it should be like this. There's an argument to be made that 5 years is too long, especially for a crime like this where it's an open and shut case and it was on video. Now, one reason I bring that up is because there is another open and shut case that is on video, and he probably will not get the death penalty, and that's Luigi Mangione. So the latest is that he's going to plead guilty. I'll read some of this from Yahoo News. Luigi Mangione expected to plead guilty in federal court today, reports say. Prosecutors and defense lawyers have requested a special conference with the judge on Friday morning, so it's supposed to happen sometime pretty soon here. Now, the 28-year-old, as you know, is accused of fatally shooting United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. And remember, this is on video. He's been very public about why he hated them. I mean, this is all public. We know basically for a fact this guy did it. But Mangione pleaded not guilty to 2 federal stalking-related charges that could result in a sentence of a life in prison. A federal judge dismissed 2 other charges, including one that carried out the death penalty earlier this year, which I don't understand. This is why certain people don't trust our justice system, because in a sane world where he's on video, this guy is evil, we all know what's happening here. It should just be like that Alabama case, right? Where we have a trial, he's found guilty, and he gets the death penalty in 5 or 6 years. At the most, honestly. We're never going to get back to that, are we? We're never going to. That's how it should be done. Alabama, this is the case. And yet, for some reason, we just can't get back to that in this country, and that creates so many problems. So it says here he's scheduled to appear in U.S. District Court in Manhattan at 11 a.m. Terms of the expected plea deal were not immediately clear, and the reports, which cited anonymous sources, cautioned that Mangione could change his mind and that any agreement would not be final until he accepts it in court. His federal trial is scheduled to begin in January. Mangione also faces 8 felony charges, including second-degree murder, and a separate state case stemming from Thompson's 2024 killing. He pleaded not guilty to that. If Mangione pleads guilty to federal charges, his lawyers are expected to seek dismissal of some of the other or all the other charges in the state case under New York's double jeopardy law, which bars someone from being tried twice for the same crime. Now, as you know, Thompson was shot to death in the early morning of December 4, 2024, outside a luxury hotel in Midtown Manhattan, where he was attending an investor conference. Surveillance footage of the incident shows a hooded figure shooting the healthcare executive in the back multiple times before fleeing the scene. Shell casings, you might remember, had the words deny, delay, depose written on them. They were found at the scene. This is an apparent reference to a frequently criticized strategy that health insurance companies are alleged to use to avoid paying out customer claims. In a common sense society, one, we would not have as many people. We saw a lot of people out there, a lot of crazies out there, justify this, say, oh, he was right or something. That's sick enough. But you see a lot of other people out there, they don't necessarily justify it, but they kind of excuse it. Well, we don't like the violence, but you hear that a lot. Well, those people are sick as well. The answer to a lot of this is you don't do this. If you do something like this, for whatever reason, it is murder. You will be arrested, you will be tried, and you will be executed. I'm not trying to sound morbid. And look, as a Christian, I believe that maybe that guy really did find Jesus, and maybe he will be forgiven by Jesus. I don't know his heart, if it was genuine, but it was genuine. Maybe he is with the Lord right now. But if we're talking about earthly justice, we're talking about a guy who shot a CEO, a family man, seemed like a decent family man, just doing his job, in the back, in public. We have it on video. Why can't we do it here like in Alabama? The guy was caught. It's on video. He's found guilty. He's executed 5 years later. It's just sad that we can't do it for a case like this. Now, it says in June, Mangioni's lawyer said they plan to invoke a psychiatric defense at his state trial, only to abruptly withdraw that intention. So apparently he might plead guilty. He could get out of it. Obviously, I don't trust this nut job. So who knows what he's thinking, what's going on here. And in fact, I was talking with someone the other day, and they're like, why are they even seeking a plea deal? It's an open and shut case. He is guilty. Why even seek a plea deal? Now, I guess maybe you could argue it gives him less attention. You don't have to go through the trial. But there's a part of me that doesn't even want to do that. Seek the death penalty. Seek the punishment for the crime here. Am I being too harsh on this? You could tell me on the Yaffee text line, 866-494-9866, 866-494-WVNN. But I agree with Governor Kay Ivey. Horrific crimes like this, it justifies why we have a death penalty. All right, we're going to move on from that. We have a lot of other stuff to get to. We have the Alabama Bullet Points, Brad Presnell at the bottom of the hour. You're listening to the Yaffee program. Stay with us.
It's the Yaffee program on WVNN.
We're back on the Yaffee program. This is News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM, WVNN. Glad you have joined the show. And of course, if you ever miss any of it live, the podcast will be up on the website at WVNN.com or on the WVNN app or the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Let's get to the Alabama news right now. Well, actually, hold on. I do have a text I want to get to real quick. Well, a couple people agreeing with me on the death penalty. Not surprising there. One person said, I think it's called premeditated murder. Yeah, I mean, exactly. The Alabama case and the Luigi Mangione case. It was premeditated murder. Both horrific. But unfortunately, Luigi Mangione will not get the death penalty. And even if he did, it would probably take 30 years to get done. Where in the Alabama case, it was kind of a rare case where justice was done relatively swiftly, which I think is a part of justice. That's a part of getting justice, is when it's done swiftly, I think. All right, beyond that, though, let's get to the other headlines. We have the Alabama Bullet Points.
Alabama Bullet Points. Today's headlines from around the Yellowhammer State.
Sponsored by Larry's Pistol and Pawn. Number 4 today, FBI Director Kash Patel slams SPLC's methodical, calculated scheme to defraud their donor base for millions of dollars. He said money doesn't lie. So FBI Director Kash Patel has condemned the Southern Poverty Law Center for what he called a methodical, calculated scheme to defraud donors of millions, citing a recent federal grand jury indictment in Montgomery that charges the SPLC official Heidi Barrick and the organization itself with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and related financial crimes. Now, Patel highlighted allegations that Barrick oversaw more than $1.2 million in donor funds paid to a neo-Nazi informant with whom she was also romantically involved with roughly $140,000 flowing into their joint accounts for personal expenses. This seems like another pretty easy case, but we'll have to see. He argued this showed profound hypocrisy from the group. Number 3 today, Doug Jones, who is the Democrat nominee for governor, as you know, is calling for more data center transparency and accountability at the Lowndes. He was at a Lowndes County event this week. So Doug Jones, former U.S. Senator, spoke to about 50 residents at a Baptist church in Hope Hall, and that's in Lowndes County, calling for greater transparency and accountability around data centers amid local opposition to Cloverleaf Infrastructure's proposed Project Red Clay hyperscale facility. He reiterated his support for a one-year statewide moratorium on new data center construction to give communities time to establish guardrails, including empowering local governments, full disclosure of environmental impacts, ownership details, and financial arrangements, while acknowledging potential economic benefits if negotiated openly so residents can weigh costs versus gains. This is something we'll have to talk more about later on. Number 2 today, U.S. Senator Katie Britt introduces a bill to boost Space Force readiness. Says the United States must be able to maintain space control. So Britt joined Senator Catherine Cortez Masto out of Nevada. They have introduced the bipartisan Space Superiority Readiness Act of 2026 to expand wargaming, modeling, simulation, and training for U.S. Space Force Guardians, enhancing their readiness to maintain space control and superiority amid growing threats from China's expanding space and counterspace capabilities. Now, the bill emphasizes the critical role of space-based systems in U.S. military operations, which is true, such as missile warning, navigation, communications, and intelligence. It requires a report on Chinese commercial space capabilities with potential military applications, while also highlighting Alabama's importance in national space efforts, including the relocation of U.S. Space Command to Huntsville. And number 1, Tommy Tuberville wants to de-incentivize child trafficking, and he's addressing a bad faith asylum fraud system with his latest bill. So U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville joined Mike Lee out of Utah, introduced the Stopping Border Surges Act to curb child trafficking and bad faith asylum fraud by closing loopholes that encourage illegal immigration. Now, the measure would let children traveling with their parents remain detained with them throughout the parents' immigration proceedings, eliminating the incentive for non-parents to falsely claim unrelated children as their own, and reducing the practice of smugglers recycling kids across the border multiple times. It also seeks to remove incentives for parents to bring children on the journey, addressing the current system in which unaccompanied minors from countries other than Mexico or Canada enter lengthy removal processes and are often released into the U.S. with the same adults who smuggled them. You know, this is another one where if we lived in a common sense world, this would get bipartisan support. You would think both Republicans and Democrats, at the very least, would be able to come together and say, you know, all these unaccompanied minors showing up at the border, claiming asylum, being smuggled in, contributing to human trafficking, maybe we should close that loophole. Whatever you think about immigration as a whole or illegal immigration or ICE or whatever, you think Republicans and Democrats could at the very least agree on that, you would think. But no, it's not a common sense world. Common sense isn't common. It seems like, because something like this seems pretty common. Common sense seems pretty easy. You'd think it would pass, but no. The sponsor of the Bullet Points today, as you know, is Larry's Pistol and Pawn. Go to Larry's Pistol and Pawn today in Madison off Greenbrier Exit 3. It's by the Big Rusty Water Tower. Best selection of jewelry in town. You probably already know that, but if you forgot, I'm here to remind you. And I know most of my family members know they have gone there and they have bought jewelry there. I've had several friends and coworkers do the same thing, and they've been back more than once because the deals were so great. The customer service was great. Now, my mom got a sapphire ring there, but, you know, it didn't fit right, so they resized it for her. That's how it works at Larry's Pistol and Pawn. You think, oh, I can't get that at Pistol and Pawn. I have to go to some expensive jewelry shop. No. Larry's can take care of you, and you can put jewelry on layaway as well. So go to Larry's Pistol and Pawn. Lots of other great things to shop for. There is another location in Huntsville off North Memorial Parkway, as you know. And you can find out more at the website, pistolandpawn.com. Pistolandpawn.com. When you go, let them know Yaffee was the one who sent you. So we had elections earlier this week. We got to get Brad Presnell's reaction to that. Nothing too surprising there. And I don't know if anything too surprising will happen as we head toward the general election. But we'll talk about that and much more coming up next on the Yaffee program. Stay with us.
You're listening to Yaffee on WVNN.
Washington, D.C., get ready. The world's best are coming to Audi Field on October 10th. U.S. Soccer's women's national team takes on Spain in a battle between the top two teams in the world. Watch Olympic gold medalists face the reigning FIFA Women's World Cup champions in a star-studded showdown featuring Trinity Rodman and Sophia Smith. One night, two global powers, one unforgettable match. Get your tickets now at ussoccer.com.
Mic Drop, hosted by former Navy SEAL Mike Ridland.
How would you characterize your prowess?
I'd say my style is that I just kind of outwork everybody till I get there.
Because I'm not a quitter. It's just you, and that's yourself.
Whereas everything else is team-oriented.
The motivation, it was a sort of anger at myself for being weak. That ends up being the driving factor. That anger, that pride, that ego, I think it's a muscle. It gets stronger. When you take that voice seriously, you start to change your life.
Mic Drop. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
We are here on News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM, WVNN. This is the show where you can expect the latest news, the important guests, and the best analysis, all for your morning commute here on WVNN. You can also listen online at WVNN.com, our WVNN app, or the iHeartRadio app. Joining me on the show, as he does every Friday, is Brad Presnall. He is a political consultant, does work for Senator Tommy Tuberville, running for governor, also the AEA, also Congressman Dale Strong, and others. Brad, how are you today, sir?
Good morning, Yaffee. Doing well.
So we had our primary election. It was a special primary election in 4 of the districts in Alabama earlier this week. One thing we all noticed is turnout was pretty low. Now, they say part of that is because, 1, it was a special election. 2, it's a midterm, usually lower. But 3, the governor's race wasn't on the ballot. Of course, Trump's not on the ballot. So that all plays a role here. But what do you think really played a role? Why aren't people really showing up in these elections?
Well, I think everything you just said, I think that's part of the recipe to why we saw such a really embarrassing low turnout. I think there are many reasons, Yaffee. I remember last week you and I talked about what we thought the turnout would be, and we both agreed that it would probably be abysmal. And my response was, I think a lot of people are just frustrated that they haven't seen as many changes as they would like to see, and they're still paying high prices at the gas station and the grocery store and for insurance and just fill in the blank. So a lot of people are just frustrated thinking voting's not going to change anything, so why bother? So I think that's one major thing that we're running into. Another thing, the map effect, map fatigue effect is what I read about it yesterday, and I wrote it down to bring that up. And people are actually saying that's something that we need to talk about, the map fatigue effect. When voters are exhausted by what they see in their mind, there's been a lot of redistricting and confusion. And this has happened all over the country, with these court cases. And so people are just like, well, do I vote? Do I not vote? Well, how about this? How about I just don't vote? So I think that's part of it. And like you said, I mean, this had no marquee statewide race like a governor's race or a Senate seat, no high visibility contest. And without that top ticket draw, Yaffee, I think voters really just don't feel the urgency.
So that's kind of one thing you said there is pretty concerning if you're a Republican, right? Because what you said is people, they're not seeing the change they would like. President Trump promised to bring prices down. At the beginning of his administration, gas prices were down, but they've gone back up some because of the Iran war. The nature of inflation is prices never really go down. You can slow down the increase, but wages need to go up to meet that, and people still, they're unsure about the economy. If all of that is true, I mean, that's not good for Republicans. Not necessarily that all these people are going to show up and vote for the Democrats, because the Democrats have gone crazy. We've talked about that. But they might just not show up at all, might not vote at all. And Republicans need a high turnout for the midterms.
I think you're right. That's not a concern of mine that we're going to lose a lot of voters to the Democrats. My concern is like yours, that the people just actually going to the polls will be down. And who knows how much down. Of course, we've still got a good, 85 days, 87, something around there. I lose track since the election, so anything can happen. And Yaffee, too, anytime, and this has been over the years, we've seen this in Alabama when we've had weird special elections in August. Those are really turnout killers because, even highly engaged voters will miss them because people are going on vacation. They're getting ready to get their kids back in school. They have 100 things to do and not much time to do it. And, I think voting, too, is also driven by habit. People vote when elections occur at predictable times because voting is a behavior. And this election really broke that pattern.
So you're a political consultant, as we always remind people. If you're consulting a candidate for the midterm, say you are helping a Republican running, what do you tell them? Because I'm sure there are Republican candidates out there, maybe not as much in Alabama, but across the country that are worried about this. They're worried about losing their seat because, well, the energy just isn't there. So if you're consulting them, what would you tell them? How do you get the energy back?
That's a tough question, Yaffee, because once people disengage, it's hard to get them back involved in the process. And usually if they disengage, it's because they're frustrated. And frustration is a powerful thing. I would just say that just communicate to the voters that, hey, it would be worse if the alternative was elected, which is true. Just imagine where we'd be now if we had President Kamala Harris. I know it's hard to imagine, but I think it would be worse than it is now. Who knows what would be going on in the country? And as far as statewide in Alabama, the Republican Party, we have a lot of good people running. And just look at the alternatives. Really. Come on, man. We've got some real humdingers on the Democrat side running for office.
I think you're right. Mostly what I have seen from Republicans is, and the Democrat socialists have kind of given them a gift here because they're winning the primaries. So you have Republicans say, look, not only would it have been worse under Kamala Harris, but you also have these radicals that want to come in. And do you really want this kind of radical transformation of the country? Look at the damage that would do. So it's a lot of voting against the left, but the only thing I would add is they still need a plan, right? Put forward a plan for the future to fix those problems that we're talking about here. A lot of what I hear is, well, it'll get better soon. Well, that if you're the average voter and you hear a Republican say, "Oh, just give us time," that's not really encouraging. You need something to really grab onto, correct?
You're right, Yaffee. And politics and government it's kind of like a rope. Everybody needs to be pulling in the same direction, from your local municipalities to your state government to your federal government. And you can do all kinds of wonderful things in your state, but if you have a federal government who is going against you every time you turn around, like we did for 4 years with Joe Biden, it's tough. You need to have everybody with the same mentality. We're going to lower taxes. Okay, let's lower them from the municipality all the way up to the presidency and the United States Congress. Let's do it that way. And that's when people see real change. But when they're fighting against each other for little minutia of things like that, then it's hard to get anything done.
Speaking with Brad Presnall, he is a political consultant. Let's look more locally here because we have the Madison County Courthouse that is being built, and I know you wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, Yaffee, let's talk about that. Downtown, if you've driven through the square lately, you already know that people are having strong feelings about this courthouse project, and I get it. We all get it. When the Madison County Commission voted to demolish the current courthouse and rebuild on the same site, they just didn't approve a construction plan. They approved a disruption. Business downtown, they're worried about foot traffic, and drivers are already bracing for detours and lane closures. And for people who've lived here long enough to remember when the building went up in 1967, there's a real emotional attachment to that structure. But just like we've been hearing from the commission, we can't ignore this, that the building is nearly 60 years old. It's the second oldest courthouse in Madison County history. And the studies show that renovating it and just keeping it up and running would cost at least $10 million just to patch it up. And then you'd have to keep putting more and more money into it. And you're not even modernizing it. You're not expanding it. you're just keeping it limping along. So the question becomes, do we keep pouring money into a building that's outlined, whether it's design, or do we build something that actually meets the needs of a county that's grown faster than almost anywhere in Alabama?
So it sounds like what you're saying is once it's done, people will appreciate it. You know, it's an inconvenience right now, but, you know, a necessary one.
That's right, Yaffee. You know, I trust Madison County Commission Chairman Rex Vaughn and the commission to make the right decisions here. You know, Madison County isn't losing a courthouse. It's going to be gaining a once-in-a-generation opportunity to put a brand-new facility with modern security and technology designed for today's population, workforce, and caseload. And we really need a building that reflects who we are now, not who we were in 1967. And, yeah, it's a big investment. I think they said it's around $100 million, but it's an investment for the next 50-plus years of Madison County. And so we really need it, and nobody likes construction. Nobody likes having to drive different ways. They've been doing the same thing down in Montgomery with the new State House. And when it's time, and we need to replace these structures. So, yeah, drivers are going to be frustrated. The businesses are going to feel the squeeze. When the dust settles, Madison County will have a beautiful new courthouse worthy of our growth and the wonderful people.
Kind of reminds me, so when I was in Orlando before I left, they were in the middle of what they called the Ultimate I-4 project, which is the main highway going through Orlando. And people hated the construction at the time, but now that it's done, it is so much better than it was. I mean, you still have some traffic, but it's one of those things, everybody hates it while it's happening. But once it's done, it's like, oh, yeah. This was worth it. And you think the State House is the same thing, right? That was pretty much necessary.
Yeah, and you can go into all different kinds of society. You can look at sports franchises when they build a new facility for football or a baseball stadium or whatever it is. It really increases interest and people start coming. So the businesses downtown that are going to be feeling the squeeze, like I said earlier, once this is built, I think their businesses are going to explode because there's going to have so many people coming downtown to do business at the courthouse. They're going to come down just to see it, and those people are going to want to eat. Those people are going to want to buy things, and there'll be more businesses popping up. I know we have a lot of lawyers around the square, so I think it's just going to increase everything. And look at the Trash Pandas. I mean, for years we had the Huntsville Stars out at Joe Davis Stadium, and interest was really, really waning. People quit going to the games, and now we have this brand new, beautiful field, and people just, come out all the time. So I think it's really going to be a commerce driver for downtown Huntsville and the whole county.
So do you think, by the way, kind of on a similar note, I don't even know if you have an opinion on this, but I know Tuberville's been talking about he really wants to revitalize Montgomery. You know, you had mentioned the State House, the new State House being built in Montgomery, that can help. But is there a way to actually do it, you think? Get our capital to where it should be?
Well, I think so. If you go down there now, and one thing, there's several complaints that people have. The first thing is they don't feel safe walking around the Capitol complex, even 2 or 3 blocks from the State House or the state capitol itself. So that's the first thing I think Coach wants to fix is let's make it where people feel safe. The second thing is there's not enough restaurants for foot traffic down there. People have to actually, if you work at the Capitol complex, a lot of times you have to get in your car and leave to go to another part of town if you want to eat at a restaurant. So that's a consideration that I think we need to get more businesses in downtown Montgomery thriving. And another thing is the parking situation. Parking garages are an eyesore. We get it, but we need them. I mean, that's when people come to Montgomery, Alabama from out of town, that's the first thing they complain about before somebody tries to rob them is they have nowhere to park. So I think there's 3 or 4 things that I think Coach is going to look into to try to revitalize and work with the city on.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, the first thing they notice is parking, but really the big thing is crime. I mean, that's going to be what Tuberville has to address first. Once people can start to feel safe in that area, then everything else will kind of come along in response. Brad Presnell is a political consultant. Really appreciate you coming on. As always, Brad, we'll talk to you again in the future.
Thank you so much, Yaffee.
All right, there you go. We have much more to get to here on the Yaffee program. Back in just a moment.
The Yaffee program.
Welcome back to the Yaffee program. We're here on News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM, WVNN. I am Alabama's voice of reason. By the way, just so everyone knows, and Bugsy, you can testify to this, I was the first one to call this outrage against data centers a moral panic. Dale stole that from me. He admitted he stole that from me, which is okay. But I just want everyone to know that. I was the first one to say it.
Ever.
Right, Bugsy?
Nobody else said it.
Okay, good. See? Told you. Anyway, yeah, he's been saying that a lot because I think I said it on his TV show, and he was like, yeah, I'm going to start saying that. But we still have this, and really it's become a political issue here, even here in Alabama, the data centers. And it is kind of funny because Dale was talking about it too, and it is kind of funny how you have those on the extreme right and those on the extreme left. Some call it the horseshoe of the left and right here, that they're uniting on things like data centers, which probably should tell you something. But the main reason I bring this up again is we have Doug Jones, who's running for governor, I think. You know, I said for a bit, I don't think he's actually running for governor. He's running for attention. He wants more likes on social media, possibly a gig on CNN or something, or he gets appointed. If a Democrat becomes president again, he gets appointed to something because he doesn't really have much of a chance of becoming governor. But there is one issue where he is trying to separate himself from Tuberville. So as you know, and it was kind of surprising at the time, Tuberville, who is going to be our next governor, has come out strong in favor of data centers. New construction of data centers. While you have Terry Sewell in Congress wants a nationwide moratorium for a year on them, which is kind of crazy. But Doug Jones, to try to separate himself, is coming out against data centers. Now, this is one of those issues where I don't think he really has a strong opinion on it. He is just calculating. Oh, well, Tuberville and Republicans are for data centers. There seems to be this moral panic around it online, so I'm just going to come out against them. And maybe I can pull some voters from Tuberville, maybe even some Republicans. But according to Alabama Daily News, oh my gosh, people were protesting and they were holding up signs, "Save our land." Save our land. Now, I have to remind you, if you're a Democrat and you're holding up a sign that says "Save our land," were you doing the same thing when you were promoting these solar farms or wind farms for electricity? Where do you think the solar panels would go? Where do you think they were putting these so-called solar farms? They were cutting down trees, putting it over grass, vast swaths of land that could be used for farming. Who knows what it could be used for? And they're just putting a bunch of solar panels there. Honestly, but now you're really worried about the land because of a data center? Okay. Anyway, there is an infrastructure project by Cloverleaf proposed. It's the project Red Clay would be a massive data center. And opponents have said the community has insufficient information about the project. Now, I am all for getting more information, but usually, I don't know, usually that's the play. Because if someone is holding a sign that says "Save our land," do you think they really are going to be convinced by more information? They've already come out against it, okay? But Jones has been very public with the distrust of data centers, repeatedly calling for a 1-year moratorium on new data center construction. He says this would allow communities time to set up guardrails for the massive facilities. He said, "I've never seen an issue explode on the political scene like this has. What I see happening in Lowndes County right now is really typical of what's wrong with the Alabama government, Jones says. Everything done behind closed doors, no transparency, people come out and try to set up little booths and try to explain what's going on to the best of their ability. But the fact of the matter is nobody really knows what's going on down here. Now, I have to remind people, data centers have been around for a while. So I'm all for transparency. Don't get me wrong. But I hope you all realize this is not like something Doug Jones is just really super passionate about. And he's going to come in and we're not going to have data centers. This is a political calculation. But I'm sorry, I see more upside than downside for data centers. I just have the way these communities are going to benefit from them, I think is going to be, I think you'll have a change of mind in some people. By the way, if you want to see all upside, go to Jay's Appliance Outlet in Athens. If you need a new appliance, they have the best deals around. They also offer 0% interest financing, flexible monthly payments designed for your budget. They're located off 72 in Athens. You'll see the sign outside says 60% off new appliances, which is amazing. They can deliver to the area, and you can find out more at jaysapplianceoutlet.com or call them. Dial pound 250, say the keywords Jay's Appliance Outlet. Tell them Yaffee sent you.
It's the Yaffee Program on WVNN.
Start your day with the morning jolt of Drake C. Toll.
See, now it's on demand. My podcast is kind of a radio thing, I think, but also it's a bit of a TV show, and it's about whatever I want it to be. It's listening live as it happened, when it happened, with the instant reaction.
Your home for talking sports.
We go back. The Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports Network. And there it will be, on demand, on your radio. Anywhere in the country, I'll see you there.
Westwood One Sports Talk, your home for Drake C. Toll. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Hey, soccer fans! U.S. Soccer's gold medal-winning women's national team faces World Cup champion Spain in an epic showdown at Audi Field in D.C. on October 10th. Don't miss this incredible match. Snag your tickets at ussoccer.com/tickets.
The Yaffee Program on WVNN.
So when I talked about this story with people I know that are veterans, they literally couldn't understand why this was a big story. And I know Dale was talking about it earlier. You probably heard about it on the Fox News updates and everything else. But what apparently is going on the USS Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln, the aircraft carrier that's in the Strait of Hormuz around Iran in the Persian Gulf, we all smell a rat here, right? We all look at this story and be like, okay, this is just the propaganda press trying to make something that maybe isn't something. It's kind of like, remember that story? There's actually a ton of examples like this in recent years. Remember that story where it was like border agents are whipping migrants? And then it turned out it was just a border agent on a horse using the reins for the horse. That was not even a thing. But it was all over social media, the internet, news stories about outrageous what border agents are doing. And there's so many examples like that where I call them the propaganda press, and they're like, oh, yeah, I'll prove you right. Now they're being propaganda for Iran, I guess. But I'll go over the details of this. I really do want to get your reaction. I mean, obviously, I want soldiers, and I want Marines, and I want Navy sailors to be treated fairly, to be treated well as they're protecting this country. But I see a story like this, and I hear the reaction from veterans, and it tells me something. So we'll talk about it. You are listening to the Yaffee Program. This is the show where you can count on the latest news, the important guests, and the best analysis, all for your morning commute, here on Newstalk 770 AM, 92.5 FM, WVNN. So let me read this here from the Wall Street Journal. They had the exclusive on this part of it yesterday. It said, U.S. is sending fresh aircraft carrier to the Middle East amid Iran war strain. So the U.S. George Washington is set to replace the USS Abraham Lincoln, which has been deployed for more than 250 days. They say this was already planned. But several lawmakers say they're concerned about reports of a lack of food and personal supplies aboard the carrier, as well as plumbing backups as the carrier's deployment stretches into its ninth month. A U.S. official confirmed Thursday that a person went overboard the Lincoln in early August but was quickly rescued. Now, the Lincoln has been deployed for more than 250 days, and it hasn't made a port call in 200 days, setting a record for consecutive days at sea, according to Senator Richard Blumenthal, who wrote a letter to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. He said there have been widespread reports of shortages of basic supplies, water contamination, plumbing issues, deteriorating mental health, deck safety concerns, and disruptions in the mail system. Now, it is my understanding that this is a 5,000-person ship. And by the way, I'll go over the details. So, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, or Secretary of War, is saying a lot of this is being misrepresented. Excuse me. So we'll go over what he said in a moment. But I'm just thinking here. You're dealing with a war. You're dealing with 5,000 people on a ship. A lot of them probably pretty young. And no one is denying that it's a tough situation because, as I mentioned, we're at war, basically. Although, now that I say that, I kind of wish we were. We're in this weird middle ground here right now again. But I'm thinking I would almost guarantee you that any time you have any military operation in the history of military operations in the world, I would almost guarantee you that you're going to have some issues when you're dealing with 5,000. This time it's sailors, but maybe in Marines. But let's say it was 5,000 Army soldiers. It was 5,000 airmen, whatever it is. You're dealing with a large group in a tough situation as we were actively at war with another country. I would almost guarantee you that there are going to be issues where some of those people are dealing with mental health problems, or some of those people are dealing with other health issues, or there are some of those problems we talked about, maybe they have occurred here or there. My point is that is this really the big deal they're making it out, or is this kind of what you would expect when you're in a war on an aircraft carrier with 5,000 Navy sailors and Marines for an extended period of time? Is it actually just something that probably happens a lot, but now we're focusing on it because, we have to make Trump look bad. We have to make this war look bad. This is another example of the incompetence of Pete Hegseth or something. Like I said, I smell a rat here. But according to Reuters, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said on Thursday that reports about poor conditions aboard aircraft carrier the USS Abraham Lincoln in the Middle East were completely misrepresented. Now, two military-focused outlets, the Navy Times and Stars and Stripes, reported suicide attempts and declining morale on the 5,000-person ship, which has been at sea since November 2025. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't be concerned about morale. Anytime you're at war, you want to have good morale among the men, But you're always going to have problems of people either trying to abandon ship, go AWOL, have mental health issues in any military operation with this many people for an extended period of time. I don't care what it is. Now, it says the carrier has been in the Middle East since January. So Pete Hegseth told reporters during a visit to Panama, he said, "We make sure every ship, every crew, every captain has everything we can provide them at every single moment. Some deployments are longer than others, and I have more respect and gratitude for those sailors than anybody. What they do in those high seas and those austere conditions with less port calls, it's incredible." That's what he said. Now, typical naval deployments are for between 6 and 9 months, but during times of conflict, that can be extended. Which, don't we all kind of understand that? Don't they kind of take on that risk when they sign up and join the Navy to begin with, or the Marines? Don't they? I mean, isn't that the whole point of going through some kind of boot camp where you're trained for very tough conditions because, you might go to war? Isn't that kind of the point? Yeah, I'm not saying if you just put me on a ship for that long, I'm going to react okay. But I also didn't join the Navy and went through the boot camp and had the understanding and the training of what might happen. That's why I'm curious what you think if you're a veteran and you hear this story, what first comes to your mind. Now, it says extended deployments can pose enormous strain on crews' mental health, especially in wartime, and have always been a challenge for the U.S. Navy. So Reuters gets it right there. Of course, it's always been a challenge. We're not talking about vacation. This is not a work vacation that these sailors are on. This is a war. And they're in their military service. Now, it says sailors must maintain a heightened state of alert and readiness, especially with the threat of drone and missile attack from Iran. A U.S. official speaking on the condition of anonymity said the George Washington aircraft is heading to the region with the intention of replacing the Lincoln carrier. It says the move was pre-planned, but Democratic lawmakers are unhappy, and I mentioned what Richard Blumenthal said. Now, when asked about reports of poor conditions, White House spokesperson Olivia Wales said President Donald Trump and Hegseth were committed to ensuring the U.S. military was equipped with the resources necessary to counter any threat to the United States. So what we have here is we have Democrats in line with the propaganda press see a story that, yes, it's concerning. I don't want anyone to try to abandon ship overseas or something in a military operation, but when you actually step back, have some perspective, you understand that in the military, this can happen. During a war, this can happen. It's tough, but not necessarily unusual and dire. And so Democrats and the propaganda press see something, though, and you're going to start seeing stuff about this. I guarantee you, I do the Sunday News Show's recap of Monday. I guarantee you they're going to have some Democrat on talk about it, and they're going to talk about why this is another reason we shouldn't be over there, that Trump's a poor wartime leader. We're going to see campaign ads for the midterms where Trump can't even take care of his own sailors or something. We all know this is coming, right? All because of a tough situation, which, yes, even I'm admitting is tough. But you don't join the military for an easy run. That's not why you join the Navy. Oh, I just want to take it easy. I'll join the Navy. It sounds relaxing. It's not usually how it is. But maybe this is a bigger concern for you. Or do you smell a rat like I do? You can tell me on the Yaffee text line, 866-494-9866, 866-494-WVNN. I do have some texts coming in on data centers, whether you're anti or pro data center. As I said, and I kind of saw this from the beginning, it just seems like a moral panic. There might be a grain of truth to some of the concerns about data centers, but it's also one of those issues where you take a grain of truth and then you stretch it out and it becomes a moral panic. So we'll talk about that in a moment, get your reaction on the text line, and we do have a lot more to get to. Right now, I got to tell you about my good friends at VIP Care, primary care with a heart for seniors. Yeah, it can be tough when you're dealing with a doctor in your area, especially if doctors aren't accepting new patients. You're on Medicare, you have to deal with all that, and you have a supplemental plan, and you don't know where to go. Then you have to go to a separate place if you need some kind of screening or x-ray or something. And then it's like, why can't I get this all done in one place? Well, you actually can. You just have to contact the right people, and the right people are those at VIP Care. GetVIPCare.com. You go to the website, the little tab there, find a clinic near you. Great testimonials from several patients who have loved the care they have gotten. And by the way, you have more time with your doctor. It's data-driven care. It's tailored to you. It's coordinated care. So all those things I talked about, you can actually get it all done in one place. And they have convenient 24/7 support as well. same-day appointments, which is awesome. GetVIPcare.com. When you call them, let them know Yaffee was the one who sent you. All right, we'll be back in a moment on the Yaffee program.
You're listening to Yaffee on WVNN.
All right, back here on the Yaffee program. This is News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM, WVNN. I got people weighing in on the Yaffee text line. You can weigh in as well, 866-494-9866, 866-494-WVNN. One person, we were talking about this report that apparently sailors are in poor conditions on the U.S. aircraft carrier, the USS Abraham Lincoln. And one person abandoned ship, I guess, jumped overboard. They were able to rescue him. Had a mental health episode. And my basic point is that anytime you're dealing with 5,000 people on a ship for an extended period of time in a war zone, the chances are one of them, at the very least, is going to have some kind of mental health episode. And this happens. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's not tough. But that's kind of the job if you're going into the Navy. One person said, I think it's all BS. You would think that they would be happy with their conditions out there. Just think about the guys and gals who are deployed on submarines for long term. You don't hear them whining. Well, here's the thing. You're right. You don't hear them whining. But I'm sure they have similar situations like this on submarines. That's really my takeaway here. Is that we're reporting on this. We see all the reporting on this because we want to make Trump look bad, and we're acting like it's this really bad situation when in reality, this probably happens more than we realize because you're dealing with being in the Navy or a soldier or whatever. When you deal with that, you're going to have problems like this. When you deal, it doesn't even have to be military. Anytime you have 5,000 people working on something in one area, there is a good chance that one of them could have a mental episode or something. And those chances go up when you're talking about an aircraft carrier in a war zone. So it's like we see what's going on. This is just a way to get the ad by some Democrat running against a Republican saying Trump has failed us. We shouldn't be in Iran. He can't even take care of his own sailors. That's what we're going to hear. And when that comes, I'll play it for you. I'm sure that ad is coming. So there you go. But yeah, I have talked to veterans who are like, yeah, I was on. Either they were, their parents were. Yeah, we were on a ship for an extended period of time during a war, and yeah, it sucked, but that was kind of the job. It's what you signed up for. So, got a lot of different responses on that. Now, we were talking about data centers earlier because Doug Jones, who is running for governor, is trying to separate himself from Tuberville on some issues. So basically, he is now anti-data center. He is anti-school choice. And he is anti-National Guard going to Montgomery, fighting against crime. I'm sure that's one that's out there. What else is he anti? There's got to be something else. I don't know. But one person said this. Said, I wonder how many of these anti-data center people, the Save Our Land people, shop at sprawling Walmart developments. Is a Walmart shopping center acceptable habitat loss? I don't recall the same fervor against the spread of Walmarts over the years. Actually, there was some fervor. there were definitely some people, but that was more an anti-big business furor. Like a Walmart would come in a community and be like, oh, this is big business hurting the little guy or something. But you're right. A lot of this is the typical not in my backyard thing. Where they're all for building houses. They'll say, yeah, we need to build more houses. And they're like, well, we have to build them in your city. Oh, nope, not here. Yeah, but you just said we have to build more houses. Oh, yeah, somewhere else. You build those somewhere else. Yeah, we do need to lower housing prices and build more. Okay, well, we're going to have to build here. No. I need the 3 acres here. I like that there's nothing over there or something. So there definitely is some of that going on, but a lot of it is just, it's an It's some of that, where it's a not in my backyard thing. It's also a fear over artificial intelligence, AI. There is a fear about it. Part of it's because we've kind of played up the fear in our pop culture. How many movies are there about an AI taking over? You know, we all think of Terminator or something, but there are many movies about that. I mean, 2001: A Space Odyssey is about an AI. iRobot, same thing. So there are a lot of movies in our pop culture that have kind of made us afraid of AI, I've noticed. So it's a fear over AI. There is propaganda coming from China. We already deal with high energy prices, so some of that is a little bit of a concern. And like I said, there might be a grain of truth to some of it. Obviously, we don't want energy prices to go up. And unfortunately, in this country, we have not done a great job keeping the grid to where it needs to be. I've talked about that before. I mean, we had Democrats out there. They're complaining about high gas prices now when they spent years trying to raise gas prices so we could all go on electric vehicles, I guess, or take a bus. And then then at the same time, they would shut down coal-fired plants across the country because that's bad for the environment. So we'd have more electric vehicles and less power plants. And then you say, why don't we build nuclear energy? And they're like, no, that's bad too. Here's a wind farm, which of course doesn't work. And of course would take up more land than a data center. So I can't take these people seriously on some of this stuff sometimes. So there you go. That has been I hope I've been a decent voice of reason on some of this today. I feel like some of these news issues, you need a voice of reason, really. That the typical lines, sometimes from both sides on these issues, are not really great. When it comes to data centers, there are people on both sides who get it wrong. When it comes to the war in Iran, there are people on both sides who get it wrong. When it comes to flock cameras, I think there are people on both sides who get it wrong. So you have me as your voice of reason. What can I say? We also have Bugsy, who's going to do What's Trending in the next segment on the show with the Yaffee program. Rewind. You are listening to the Yaffee program. We'll be right back.
The Yaffee program.
Washington, D.C., get ready. The world's best are coming to Audi Field on October 10th. U.S. Soccer's women's national team takes on Spain in a battle between the top two teams in the world. Watch Olympic gold medalists face the reigning FIFA Women's World Cup champions in a star-studded showdown featuring Trinity Rodman and Sophia Smith. One night, two global powers, one unforgettable match. Get your tickets now at ussoccer.com.
Start your day with the morning jolt of Drake Toll.
Anywhere in the country.
Your home for talking sports.
The United States hockey team has 4 teeth left. What is LeBron James' legacy? Lionel Messi. 906 career goals is stupid.
All of it.
The Knicks. The Los Angeles Lakers. Aaron Rodgers. Georgia football players. The Dolphins. The Mets.
As it happened, when it happened.
We'll talk all of it.
Westwood One Sports Talk. Your home for Drake Toll. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
We're back on the Yaffee program. This is News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM, WVNN. Don't forget to like the Yaffee Facebook page. Follow me on X at Yaffee or Instagram at Yaffee Live. Bugsy is here right now, and that means we have What's Trending with Bugsy.
Keeping you up to date with all that's trending in your world.
Oh, they have the internet on computers now.
You guys know how to post videos to Facebook?
It's What's Trending.
Sponsored by Coleman Furniture Market. They always have What's Trending in furniture. So you want to go today, especially because they have their big Labor Day sale going on right now, where you can get some amazing deals on the best furniture brands, including if you want a Lazy Boy recliner. Their selection of recliners can't be matched. I mean, really can. You could spend all day there sitting on recliners, testing them out. And of course, you'll probably fall asleep. So then you will spend all day there because they're that comfortable. See some of the latest recliners they got in on their Facebook page right now. You can also follow them on Instagram or go to the website, ColemanFurnitureMarket.com. They have financing options. They can deliver to anywhere in the state of Alabama and much, much more. Their in-house design team helps you pick out what's right for you. It can be overwhelming, the selection, so they'll help you out with that as well. Coleman Furniture Market. Go today, and when you do, let them know Yaffee was the one who sent you. All right, Bugsy, what's number 5 today?
Number 5 today, Yaffee, it is time for you to get your tattoos removed. Get rid of them.
Okay, I'll get right on that.
So which one are you getting rid of first?
Nice question. I don't have any tattoos.
So what about your teardrop tattoo? What about that one?
Shh, that was between us.
Just like my horse collection? Whatever. No, it's National Tattoo Removal Day. I'm going to go get one removed just for the heck of it.
Well, good. Well, today's the day.
I love how supportive you are.
Where would you do that? I don't even know where you have that done.
I don't know. I just go to Home Depot, sandblast it off or something, get a little belt sander.
Okay, let me know how that goes. That works for you. I feel like that's not a good idea.
I actually don't know. I'm sure there are of course places to go, but I don't know if there are any around here.
Yeah, I have
like
no idea.
Plastic surgeons
I've
offer
never
it,
looked into that.
Like, or maybe like laser hair removal people. Do they offer it?
Got me. I'll ask AI.
Thanks, Yaffee. I guess thanks, AI.
All right, other than that, sounds like fun. What else is going on today?
It's also World Lizard Day. So, do what you will with that information. Buy a lizard. Look at a lizard.
Yay, lizards. It is kind of funny, though. Every time I go back to like my parents' house in Orlando, I remember how many lizards there were down there. Like you'd walk to the front door and at least 3 or 4 lizards would run in front of you.
Little lizards or big lizards?
Pretty small.
They have a huge problem with iguanas in Florida, too.
Well, that's like more South Florida, like Miami.
I heard they were getting up into the panhandle, though, lately.
Oh, maybe. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
It's a problem
Snakes,
to the point.
alligators, iguanas, they're all there. Bears.
Have you ever seen how they manage the lizard population or the iguana population, though?
No.
They wait until around fall and winter when they start kind of hibernating. It's not really hibernation. They just kind of, they're cold-blooded, so they kind of slow down. You can freeze a lizard and it will stay alive so long as it has oxygen. They catch them then because they're so slow. They mostly fall out of trees, and apparently they're fed to animals.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They use them a lot in zoos, too.
I've heard, like, during cold snaps, they tell people to watch out for the
falling lizards.
Iguanas. Yeah, but I've never heard that they catch them and feed them to the animals.
Yeah, they'll feed them to a lion or something.
I will say my cat, when we lived down there, man, he could catch some lizards. Those poor lizards, he would catch so many of them.
Do you think he could get an iguana, or are they too big?
Oh, I don't know. He probably could.
Yeah,
he's that good of a cat. You know, he can
that
catch
good.
an iguana.
It won't even have to be like a slow lizard. It won't have to fall out of a tree. He can get a lizard in the summer.
Yeah. All right, what else?
Moving on, it is also National Creamsicle Day, Love Your Bookshop Day, and Shop Online for Groceries Day. Do you shop online for groceries?
No, I don't.
Some people are really for it. I don't trust anybody to pick up my groceries. I've done it a few times before, but I mean,
I did it for other people. I was a shipped
and you
shopper.
don't do it?
No, I don't want to pay the extra money, honestly. Like that, I mean, yeah, but I made extra money off of doing it, but I'm not going to order it for myself. I can get in my car and go get it. Why would I get it online?
Exactly. My biggest thing is like produce and everything like that. I don't trust they're going to pick out the best ones.
Yeah, it's hard because like avocados, like I remember when I was doing that grocery delivery, somebody was like, somebody sent me a video on how to pick out the right avocado.
And you don't know when they want to use their avocado either, because like you can buy one that you know is going to be ripe in 2 days, one that's going to be perfect today, so forth. And it doesn't. Buy your own avocados. Don't order them online.
All right, what else?
That's it for today, but it is also Magic Johnson and Halle Berry's birthday. I thought that was kind of just A little interesting. They have a shared birthday party. I didn't know they were twins. It looked nothing alike.
Twinsies, I'm sure. All right, what's number 4?
So number 4 today, Netflix is releasing a documentary about that awful breakdancer from the 2024 Paris Olympics. It's going to be called Untold Ray Gun, which is her B-girl moniker. Rachel Gunn, Ray Gunn, you know. And so the rest of the title, though, Breaking Badly. You know, like Breaking Bad?
I was about to say we're just stealing names from other
Stealing
things.
names. I don't think it should have the pre-title to that. I think it should just be Breaking Badly. If you're gonna go with it, like go all the way.
I feel like it's a sequel to Breaking Bad.
It does. It does sound like it.
Breaking Badly. Breaking Bad 2. Breaking Badly.
Breaking Badder.
Like. Yeah, we skipped Breaking Badder.
Breaking Baddest. So it's going to premiere September 1st. It's going to have an inside look at the whole entire thing. I guess just her life leading up to that moment. So it makes me kind of wonder, did she do the right thing? Get made fun of? Like, she got a Netflix documentary. I'm sure she's going to get a payout from this.
I was about to say, yeah, maybe.
She became famous for it.
She's more famous than me, so...
With an interview with USA Today, though, I did find this pretty funny talking about the premiere of it. Ray Gunn feared whole world could laugh before Olympic breakdance. So, yeah, I think she called that one. You just know that she thought she was going to change the world with her.
Man,
that was her hope.
There's just some people out there, what goes on in their minds.
She was like, there's going to be an entirely new style of breakdancing thanks to me. They're going to be like, we've never seen anything like this before.
Yeah.
You know that's what she was thinking.
I guess.
And it didn't happen.
Man. All right. What's number 3?
So number 3 today, Yaffee, a social media star, Damon Darling. Never heard of him. Do you know him?
No.
So he's now banned for life from every single Walmart store around the nation due to his skits and pranks filmed in the store. And in response to this, people online are trying to boycott Walmart for it.
Okay, good luck.
It's boycotting them for doing the right thing.
Well, yeah, not only, yeah, that's true too, but I'm like, every time I hear somebody, oh, we're going to boycott Walmart. Sure you are. Okay.
Never shopping there again, okay?
Yeah.
Are they boycotting Target too? I mean, where are you going to go?
I just like, do something that actually can make a difference. And boy, your little boycott of Walmart's not going to change.
If you're going to boycott something, at least boycott it for a good reason too. So
exactly.
This guy, he came out and said that he doesn't want people to boycott them for him. He's like, he wants people to still shop there. He thought that it was, not indicative of anything bad against Walmart. He was like, I'll just find somewhere else to film. You shouldn't stop shopping here because of me. And I get that, but also, can people just please stop filming their pranks and skits in stores? Have you ever run into somebody filming at a Target or a Walmart, Yaffee?
I have not. Have you?
Yes, it is awful. They harass customers.
Those people that just have video calls while they're shopping. I mean, definitely have that, but no, I've not seen someone like filming a prank or something.
I had to do a video call once with somebody because I needed to help them, or they were trying to pick out something, and I had no idea which one they wanted, and I was like, do you want this? Do you want this
that
one?
makes sense.
That makes sense. That's a pretty cool use of technology. But can you just please, if you're one of the people that actually watches this kind of content and enjoys it, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Right. So just doom scrolling.
And are you boycotting Walmart? I also need to know that.
Yeah, text in if you're boycotting Walmart.
At least Walmart finally banned somebody for doing this. Once one person does it, more people catch on, and it's it's awful. It's uncomfortable for everyone involved except for the person that's watching it on Facebook later.
That's true.
But
all right,
anyway.
what's number 2?
Number 2 today, Yaffee, the internet is wondering what the next big animal may be. So recently, I'd say the big animal were capybaras, Yaffee. Wouldn't you agree?
Or what?
The big animal. It's the biggest animal. Everybody loves capybaras.
They do?
Oh my God, yeah. Have you just been living under a rock for the past 3 years?
Yeah, probably.
It's an animal that a lot of people had never heard of before. They suddenly became super popular really fast. Kids love them. Dale's son Grant loves them. I had a little capybara stuffed toy. Apparently he has a whole collection of them, so it got added to his collection.
How did I miss this?
Exactly.
I thought sloths were the thing.
They were before capybaras.
Oh, okay.
So it was sloths, capybaras, and now
Poor Evie doesn't have one. I feel
She's
bad.
behind. She's behind on the trends. But this one,
guess
she
so.
might get ahead. You might be able to get her ahead on this one, okay? So currently, there are 2 runners up, I suppose, for this animal of the year-ish, decade maybe. I don't know. Any guesses as to what they are?
Well, you said it isn't sloth.
Nope, not sloth, not capybara.
Now, are they real animals? Not fictional?
Yes,
I
they're
could see
real animals.
dragons or something. I don't know.
Now, dragons are I don't know, 1800s. That was the animal of the year in the 1800s.
Okay. No, I have no idea.
So currently, people are thinking it's either going to be anteaters or jumping spiders.
Oh, jumping spiders.
You want to put your bet on either of them?
I could kind of see. I don't get the jumping spiders thing.
I didn't really either until I started realizing that it's gaining a ton of popularity as a pet. People are just catching them.
Really?
Yeah, and they have little enclosures specifically made for them with little tiny houses and stuff.
People have too much spare time. That is
too many spare spiders as well, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it sounds like you need pest control, not a new pet. What are you doing?
They just spray into the little habitat. The one spider that I wanted to keep alive.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, if you notice, if you go to any kind of toy store recently, you'll actually see they have a surprising number of little jumping spider toys.
Weird. Okay.
Right?
That is strange. I'll stick with the sloth. And she has a sloth.
But you're going back to sloths. You don't want to place your money on either anteater or jumping spider?
No, I don't.
Whatever, Yaffee, whatever. Moving
what's
on.
number 1?
Number 1 today, Yaffee. I'm not sure if you've mentioned this at all prior to today, but MySpace may be coming back.
I have not, but I did see this story.
So, MySpace's current owners, Tim and Chris Vanderhook, a while ago, in I believe it was early 2000s actually, that they bought it from Tom Anderson and the original co-owner of it. They bought MySpace, recreated it in 2013. And now we're hearing it might be coming back, except they kind of confirmed it. They're still saying it might be coming back, but they confirmed it. Not really sure about that, but MySpace is planning to relaunch itself as the antidote to modern social media fatigue. Would you rejoin it?
Sure.
Yeah, I miss MySpace. MySpace was fun. Do you think they'll add Tom back as your friend?
Oh, well, yes, that's absolutely.
I want
I
him
wonder what he
back.
looks like now.
I used to try to remove
old Tom.
him. Yeah, I used to try to remove him every single time, and he would always come back.
Old man Tom. The one thing that was cool about MySpace is you could do a lot with your profile page.
You
could really
customize the whole
customize it.
thing. Yeah, add music to it. That was fun. Facebook added that for a little bit, and then they took it off, and I was really sad.
You don't really get that with any of the other social media.
Really don't. I mean, I guess TikTok you kind of can, but most people don't really I'm not gonna go add my friends on TikTok. I don't want to watch them make weird videos.
Right? Yeah, that's
kind of
even though TikTok's social media, I don't really see it as the same type.
No,
it's not really
me
about
either.
connecting with your friends. It's just about
trying to
scrolling.
go viral. That's the entire
exactly.
thing. But I do wonder if they do bring it back, if it will be Tom's original photo, like you were saying, or like I was saying, or Old Man
He's an
Tom.
old man.
Same pose,
Got
though.
a walker.
Same pose, just old.
All right, thanks, Bugsy. Appreciate it. We'll be back in a moment here on the Yaffee program.
It's the Yaffee program on WVNN.
Welcome back to the Yaffee program. News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM, WVNN. Real quick, got to tell you about my good friends at the Huntsville Men's Clinic. celebrating their 5-year anniversary and part of a team that's treated Alabama men for ED and low T for almost 15 years. If you think you're dealing with energy issues or problems in the bedroom, could be caused by low testosterone, whatever it is, they can help you out at the Huntsville Men's Clinic. $99 for that consultation. You get a testosterone and PSA test, and you get your numbers in about an hour. And I remember I got my testosterone checked. It was really easy. They told me the numbers before I even left. They'll do that for you as well, or help you out with whatever you need. Guys, call the Huntsville Men's Clinic today, 256-368-0333. That's 256-368-0333, or go to huntsvillemensclinic.com. That's huntsvillemensclinic.com. When you go, let them know Yaffee was the one who sent you. All right, let's end the show like we usually do. We have the Yaffee program rewind. All kinds of different stuff on the show today. If you missed any of the show live, this is when I remind you the podcast is available anywhere you get your podcasts. So at the top of the show today, I actually talked about this case in Alabama where a man who committed murder, horrific murder of a young girl in 2021, was just executed yesterday. And how rare it is. I mean, the story immediately got my attention because that was just 5 years ago. Usually when you have a death penalty case, it takes like 30 years or something. And I'm sure a lot of you agree, this is how it should be done, right? Like, it should be done within 5 years. Now, apparently the reason why this one was a little bit faster is because he decided not to appeal. He just kind of accepted his fate. Apparently he said that he has asked for forgiveness from God and all of that. But I'm just thinking, in terms of justice, part of justice is the fact that it's fast, right? I mean, there's something against the idea of justice when you're waiting 40 years to carry it out. It just seems crazy. And that kind of relates to the other big story today, where in New York you have Luigi Mangione, who I guess is about to plead guilty in federal court. Kind of some weird plea deal, but he's not even up for the death penalty. And it's similar where his murder is on video. We all know he did it. It's an open and shut case. Now, the good news is federal prosecutors say they are going to seek the maximum penalty. They're not going to offer some kind of weird plea deal or something. So this seems to be an attempt by the lawyers to get out of state crimes or something. But to me, it's like the Luigi Mangione case should be just like the other case. Tried, convicted, and put to death within 5 years for a horrific murder of an innocent man. And so it just comparing the two really does reveal some problems in our justice system when it comes to this. So we talked about that at the beginning of the show. The podcast is up. We had the Alabama bullet points as well, the top stories from around the state. The podcast of that segment is up. Brad Presnell joined me as well. He's a political consultant. He gave his take on why the turnout has been so low for some of our primary elections. I think it's concerning for Republicans. The energy isn't there in the Republican Party. Now, Republicans will still win mostly in Alabama, but in other states, they need a high turnout. Will the Republicans get it? I don't know. So we talked about that. We also talked about this story. Well, the propaganda press is trying to make it a big story, where you have apparently poor conditions on the USS Abraham Lincoln. One person jumped overboard, so they're trying to say, Trump isn't taking care of his own sailors. But it seems like this has really been misrepresented. So we talked about that. We talked about the moral panic over data centers. We had What's Trending with Bugsy. If you missed any of it, the podcast is up on the website at WVNN.com. Thanks to Bugsy for producing today. Thanks to you for listening. The Vince Show is coming up next. Have a good weekend. I'll be back here at the same time on Monday.
You're listening to Yaffee on WVNN.
Start your day with the morning jolt of Drake Toll.
Anywhere in the country.
Your home for talking sports.
The United States hockey team has 4 teeth left. What is LeBron James' legacy? Lionel Messi. 906 career goals is stupid.
All of it.
The Knicks. The Los Angeles Lakers. Aaron Rodgers. Georgia football player. The Dolphins. The Mets.
As it happened, when it happened.
We'll talk all of it.
Westwood One Sports Talk. Your home for Drake Toll. Follow and listen on your favorite platform. Start your day with the morning jolt of Drake C. Told.
See, now it's on demand. My podcast is kind of a radio thing, I think, but also it's a bit of a TV show, and it's about whatever I want it to be. It's listening live as it happened, when it happened, with the instant reaction.
Your home for talking sports.
We go back. The Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports Network. And there it will be, on demand, on your radio. Anywhere in the country. I'll see you there.
Westwood One Sports Talk. Your home for Drake C. Toll. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.